Hey, muy buenas noches, everyone. I hope everybody's doing well, blessed, and enjoying family. Bueno, mi gente, first and foremost, muchísimas gracias to everyone for you guys' words, prayers, and your amazing support, as always, from the corazón. I thank you. Well, to get into the story here, today I want to go back a little bit and touch a little bit on the homie Smokey from Southside Wads, Crow, and Roland. This was when I was in Ironwood, and it's just to show like how, again, you could go through your whole prison term doing everything correct, but once you get involved in politics, in their politics, you're always a pawn, basically to shield them from, not just from the trancazos or the hits, right, but as well shielding from each other. So as if I told in a different story when it came to Evil from Watts, how everything played out in the whole with cartoon but I want to backtrack a little bit. As I mentioned before, used to work Central Kitchen with and back there was that camarada Smokey, Big Smokey from Southside Watts, like I mentioned, and he was an older camarada, and he had a lot of knowledge, you know. I used to like sitting back there and conversing with him, and from different angles of things, and he had a lot of insight when it came to things. And as I mentioned before, at one point, you know, the yard belonged to T from Bassett, and I was holding it for him. And the camarada at one point asked me for the favor when it came to Evil, you know, from Watts, and how the R he had in his jacket belonged to a family member or somebody that knew Rolo real good. So the favor was coming down that if he ever popped an A-yard, to be able to have his crew that was there go ahead and jump on dude, right? And remove him or take care of him wherever it led to. So there was no problem with that, you know. If the dude had an R, and then when it was on a personal tip when it came to the Billy, you know, from Watts, and of course, again, Ironwood was just one of those yards, right, where it was a destination that was popping at the time when it came to camaradas. As the little pintas around, which was Calipad, Centinela, you know, all in that area. So, as you guys know, Evil never popped on the yard. It got dealt with, but not the way it was supposed to due to cartoon. Well, you guys have heard this story. I don't want to bore you with the same thing over and over. But I wanted to touch on a little incident that happened, and how when I say, you know, that the program, the causa, is not meant for the gente no more. It's meant for a good camarada, a good soldado, if you want it. call it like that, are being utilized for dope purposes, for money gain. There's not no more, different angles hurting or addressing the Ranfla as a whole. Is campuleros on campuleros, cause you know it, as you guys been aware, from maybe the 80s up, it just there hasn't been a war like that no more amongst races. I see a lot of people come up and they discuss how is it racist in there. It's not about being racist in there. It's the program is it's racist in its own, and it's from both angles, but it has nothing to do with hating each other's race. It's just said like that. For example, when it comes to brothers, they're not gonna allow Raza to put hands on one of them without reacting, as Raza's not gonna allow it from them or anybody, right? But again, it goes in general for everybody. And of course, everybody's gonna gravitate towards your raza. It's just, I think it's everywhere, right? Anywhere you go in life, you're gonna gravitate where you feel you fit in. But anyways, without getting off track, I disculpen. There was a little incident. I was in 3 block and Cuervo from 110 watts was in the block. He used a couple cells for me, and he was a good homie. He was a clown, right? He was a clown, but he was one of the homies that I ran across during time that fool had knuckles on him. He could dance around people, you know. But again, he was under roller, so there was a lot of things happening. For example, I didn't get to meet Rolo 2 years later in Corcoran on B yard, but he was one of the ones that is real active till date. So I laughed when I heard that somebody put out that he's on shaking ground when it came to them, right? When as far as I know, he has a lot of people, and he's at his old age, he's still holding it down. I stated it before and I'll say it again. He's one of them pilis that, yeah, he's a tecato, and yeah, that's first and foremost, but he surrounds himself with nothing but people from his area. Generally, it's just Watson Compton. But, he has that tecato mentality. And why I say this, because I remember sitting back there in a, in a thing, where they carry the milk in. We turned him around and sat out back there and just take breaks. I was smoking, and he showed me an amapil that was coming from the old man from Watts, and it stated that there was one of his crew members that was on the yard that had to bounce, and he was stating the reasons why. Now, mind you, the reason wasn't a violation when it came, for example, him snitching, him going butt first in something, not doing his responsibilities. The problem was that the homie from Largo, right, from Compton, that was under him, he was messing with Pirate from Canoa Park. And Pirate at the time was in touch with Güero Smooth. And I guess Pirate owned he liked that dragon, right? So he pirate fronted homeboy a Cuerpito, and when push came to shove, homeboy's family, I'm not gonna say abandoned him, but got tired, you know, because family does get tired, especially when you're doing a grip of time where you're constantly, it's one thing like, hey, mijo, I'm gonna send you $100 to go to the store. Hey, send me a form so that as a family we could send you a package. Then constantly be on the phone like, hey, this, can you send a money order this way? Can you send a money order this way? And it just becomes obvious of what you're doing, no matter how much your family loves you, it becomes a weight. And family does realize that instead of helping, they're hurting. So they back up. They don't understand that you already gave your palabra that you're gonna have that meal, and they give you something, and you're on their time. We tend to forget that family, they're not under the nose of what we are going through, because that's something that a lot of us have, right? Which is keep family at bay with lies, right? When I came to my mom's side, they don't know nothing of this, of this type of world. So I know how it is, when they call in and you're back in the hole, when you're in the hospital stabbed, and they're trying to make sense of things, and we're that selfish individuals that we only have eyesight of what's in front of us. We're not taking as a whole consideration, right? Again, we put our loved ones on second base. But anyways, I disculpen back to the to the topic of the recording, right? So Pirata, he was a real good homie. It was real, like, it had to be something like really, really out there for him to even address a third party to have it taken care of. But when you're in a southern institution, you're well aware of the crews. Like one of the biggest crews on the yard was the south side, which was Compton, Watts, South Central, and that area, like Huntington Park, brought all that little group hang together, and the majority was under Rolo, and the other half was for Woody. But again, discussing Rolo, right? Pirate pressed that issue because something must have been said about him, because Pirate didn't even want the feria no more, because he was also in 3 Block, and you know he we addressed it. Well, I came to him and wanted to find out what was behind everything, because when you have on a southern part where everybody's set tripping at this time, it's just facts. Everybody's round flat tripping, and there had already been an incident, between the 805 and the homies from the Valle. So it jumps, when it feels that a Ranfla is trying to hurt one of them. It's just the way things were back then when it came to southern institutions. But again, Pirate didn't want the feria no more. He was pressing for permission to move on Largo, right? And I couldn't do that. Me personally, it was behind a Tecato or dope. It was something that could be fixed. But I did understand that angle that that basically when somebody has that monkey on their back and they're starting to owe and not pay, it's not gonna stop. It's just not. You could clear them for something, you could help them out for something. I guarantee you it's gonna happen again. It's just a known fact that that's one of the main reasons why there's a lot of good homies on that side, cause they love their negrita, right? But getting back to Rolo, so it had already reached Rolo through the avenues of Güero Smooth or whatever, and they wanted Crow and Smokey to deal with their member because he was part of the people on the Rolo, right? And Rolo said he didn't want. This is what really gets to me, right? He didn't want dope users under him. It's like he's known for being one of the biggest staccatos, right? Again, he's not a scandalous one, but he loves it. It's a known fact. Remember in Palm Hall, he had an overdose there. Corcoran, same thing. And Corcoran, it was actually two back to back. So at the end of the day, what happened, or what ended up being told to me that happened by Smokey, is I guess Homeboy from Largo did pay that, but they put an ounce in Rolo's lap to remove Largo. Just said, don't know what was said. It was just, it ain't even about the cuartito no more. Ahí te va una onza, but I want you to clear house from this guy right here, because my worker, which was Pirate and Negro from Canoga, they were the ones complaining about this. And Rolo say remove him. I'll set someone else in his spot. I do understand, he's under his name and picking up debts, and it's not looking good for him, to what at least he pretends to want in frontline, which is not dope users. That's what he said. And it wasn't Smokey and Crow the ones that removed it. It was two other homies. It was a homie from Brad's and another homie from Florencia that weren't really under Rolo, but they were the ones they chose to be the ones to go ahead and hit the oil, right? Now, or pick up them charges. They didn't. DA didn't pick it up, but regardless, they were the chosen ones to be used and not allowed to do their program. You see, I did understand always that a lifer should be in front line, because I was a lifer, to protect the camaradas that have a day. But when there's no need to use camaradas, when there's no need for it, there's just a dope gang for them. You still gotta take into consideration the homies and their board, their program, that's their life. But when I was there, I did follow this. I did do this. So I'm as guilty as this next man, right? But what I wanted to talk about, it was a cuartito. This time was $100. $100 that turned into a favor, that for the Pili to do it, basically told him put a price on your soldado, and it was an ounce of negra, and he had his soldado whacked and removed and thrown to that side. And what happened afterwards is Smokey and Crow took offense to it. And again, that was the one thing I had to be aware of, and be cautious that something small could lead into a Ramfla trip good, right? So it was a decision that basically it had to be done, which was to prevent, you know, a bigger thing. It was to allow Crow and Smokey and Pirata and Negro from Canoa handle their business with Pedazos, which, it went down as so by the showers on the yard by the workout place, and that's how they ended up leaving off the yard. Basically, I just wanted to point out how much is a camera really worth to one of them when one has a fallback, and instead of giving them the benefit of the doubt, hey, sabes que, I want to give you a hand. This time you mess up again, it's go time with you. At least give him that opportunity, right? After all, but the vitamina for the vena is worth more than him. So go ahead, move him. We'll set someone else in his place. But to escalate, to have four good soldados for a cuartito understanding, and then from the gang of Billy, whack each other and go to yard. It was a constant thing, when it was soldados after soldados. That's why I really despise that term, when somebody came and said, "Oh, my tío, my tío, oh my tío," you know, that's my primo right there, cause that meant they were loyal to one Billy, and something occurred, they were willing to throw everything for that Billy, and most of the time it was BS. I seen it time and time again. Ranfla against Ranfla. Oh, I'm under so and so. I'm under so and so. Oh, Mike Billy lost a chess game to your Theo, so now we gotta stab each other in the yard. But the Billys were in the shoe, laughing it up, playing the next game, chess game, while they were with the other's hand. They were telling his soldados to move on this Billy's workers. No buts or ifs, no respects for the people that have the yard. It's just how it looks when you get too deep into them. You know, I guess in this story, I don't want to touch on the same I did on that channel. I want to change it up, but again, touch on the camarada, or on the camaradas, excuse me. And I will get better into a Rolo story, but this was already in Corcoran, which a lot of people are going to be like, damn, really? But again, this was just an insight how, you could go up in there and for whatever, and you might want to program, you might want to do something, and on the end of the day, it just takes one of them individuals to wake up on the wrong side to say you're taking space. You might have a pair of kicks that he asked you for, and you say chales, and that's good enough to say you ain't down for the causa. You ain't down for the program just because you didn't want to give a dolphin a tecato your zapatos. That's how much a camarada's worth inside. So, to all those that have not been there, don't pay attention to. It's a cool program in there. You gotta go up in there and really earn something in there, cause There ain't nothing in there to earn. It's all risks. It's all headaches. It's all heartaches, cause you're gonna go up in there and discover everything you were misled to believe is a lie, and take it from somebody that I went up in there like a lifer, and well, as you guys will continue to hear my story. But anyways, mi gente, I just wanted to get a story out there for you guys. Again, I want to be trying to drop one every day. As you guys know, just while I'm able to bounce back up. But again, as always, I send my love, mis respetos. Please stay true to yourself and loyal to your loved ones. Buenas noches.